那个 ID 到你的
不要做 ID 啦，你就一起把它做完，不要再叫我做任何事情了啦。不是啊，你就把它做完了，不要做2次事情啦，一个事情2个人做，太浪费青春了。
请问有放我最新的那个版本吗？
有哦。
有哈，就中午寄出去的那个版本。
对。
好，谢谢。那所以就是你们直接帮我放吗，还是怎样？
对，我们会从这边帮你们放，帮老师放。老师说下一页。
哦，好，所以我要一直说下一页，好，这样 OK。
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to our workshop on application of socio-culture theory to English language teaching. And now let's welcome our third speaker, teacher Yun-Hsin Wang, PhD. She's going to share about integrating gender education with high school English teaching. Teacher Yun-Hsin Wang, floor is yours.
Yes. Oh, so I can speak now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for your introduction. Good afternoon, Professor Chen and teachers and would-be teachers in Taiwan and Indonesia. Welcome to my presentation. I feel it's my greatest honor to present this topic, integrating gender education with high school English teaching with all of you. And I hope that we can, after my presentation, we will have some time to talk about this topic. And maybe you can, we can also exchange our opinions on this issue. All right, now let's start. Please turn to the next page. Next page, 下一页. All right, okay, before I start, let me have a very brief self-introduction. My name is Yun-Hsin Wang, and I spent my 4 years learning how to be a good teacher. When I was a graduate, when I was an undergraduate student, and then I got my master's degree in National Taiwan Normal University, and then finally I got my PhD in National Taiwan University. And during that period of time, I mean, in my MA and PhD years, I spent most of my time on literature. And because I major in literature and I am very interested in literary theory and lots of contemporary issues. Since I failed to find a proper teaching job at the university level, so I went back to resume my teaching job at high school. And I am very lucky to teach at my school, National Taiwan Girls Senior High School for quite a few years. Actually, I was also a graduate from this school. And in this school, I got my degree and then I had quite a few teaching experiences. And please turn to next page, 下一页，谢谢。So let me briefly talk about my school. As a teacher, it is very important to know who your students are and what they need or something that we can help them to improve. So I want to introduce my school. This is basically a girls' senior high school. So very few students in my schools are boys because all of the schools because they are English music majors, so they can go to our school. Alright, so our school, TNGS, Tainan National Girls Senior High School, was founded in 1917 during the Japanese occupied period. As you can see, this is a very historic building, and actually we still have the historic building right now. At that time, this was a school actually exclusively for Japanese students who stay in Taiwan, and only those students with exceptionally high good grades can get into the school. And after the war, okay, and the class size was very little. The number of students in the school every year, they just got about 80 graduates a year. But right now we have 600 to 700 graduates a year. And okay, from the school, okay, it was established in 1917. And okay, at that time, when girls graduated from high school, most of them got married immediately, or some of them went to Japan for further study. And that was the very beginning of our school. And after the war was over, okay, it was transformed into a school for Taiwanese students. And please turn to next page. 下一页，谢谢。And okay, this is what my school looks like now. Okay, exactly. And it is classified as a municipal historical site. It has been in existence for 100 years. So as you can see, we have many graduates and we have many women students, and enrich our culture and also made a lot of contribution to Taiwan society. It has already been for 100 years. And now please go to next page. And this is me, and this is my students and I. I am the homeroom teacher. We have 43 girls in a class, and Tainan National Girls Senior High has been one of the top senior high schools in Taiwan. That means our students are mostly of very good grades. And besides their outstanding academic performance, students are famous for their liberal spirits and passion for volleyball. And volleyball, students here have a very strong affection for volleyball. On campus, we have 9 volleyball courts on campus. So that means 18 classes can play the game together. They can play the game together. And actually, the photo was taken after the volleyball game was over. We have a big class, and this is the current look, the present look of my school. And volleyball. So students are enjoying. They can build up team spirits, and they can help. They enjoy a good time, and it is also a very important source of releasing their pressure, academic pressure, because we have a very long school hours from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, with just 1 hour in between. So they have a very tight schedule. And whenever an alumni came back to visit, they always insisted they want to play volleyball with the younger ones. So that's something very special about my school. So for one good thing, they love volleyball. They love they do have liberal spirits, but at the same time, there was something they like. As a teacher here for about 20 years, I personally also graduated from the school. I know that comparatively, my school is in the south part of Taiwan. So comparatively, students here are not that confident in expressing themselves in English. Comparatively from with girls or with other people from other northern part of Taiwan, we like confidence, and it seems that they need more chances to try to improve their oral presentation ability, and also they need to be more confident. So that's that's the background information before I move on to present, to do my course design. So this is the first part of my introduction about my personal training and also my students. And this is the photo we took last year. As you can see, this is a typical classroom in Taiwan. Typical classroom in Taiwan. Here you can see we have some latest electric equipment we can use screen, use computer without any difficulty. And there are 43 students in my classroom. It's not easy to move around. And students, teenage girls, they were 16 at that time. They were quite active. And that was the occasion. Last year we exchanged Christmas gifts. So that is my students. Now let me talk about some current situation. English curriculum in Taiwan. I think this is the part that most of you may be familiar with, or may need to. We can exchange our opinions later on. So this is the current situation, classroom situation in Taiwan. In Taiwan, the main objective of senior high school curriculum is to improve students' overall English ability, including listening, speaking, reading, and writing. The average number of students in each class ranges from 30 to 45. Since senior high school is the transition period between secondary and higher education, the focus of senior high school English teaching tends to be exam-oriented. So this is about the goal we set for our English curriculum, exam-oriented. So accuracy, of language usage is highly emphasized. I would say this has something good and something to improve on. For accuracy as a language teacher, to help students, to enhance students' accuracy, we have to ask them to memorize words, phrases, patterns, those things. And standard answers are expected, from their performance. For this reason, students have to spend lots of time trying to improve their language, accuracy. Even though a student may have good English ability, she may have some good speaking ability, she may be quite poor in spelling the words. Therefore, she needs to spend more time memorizing words if she wants to get high grades in English. And that's the problem. And for teachers, when we try to emphasize accuracy, it's quite difficult to pay individual attention to students' needs. We can only conduct this, the textbook on a class scale. So I usually talk about important texts and we do some textual analysis. But we have little time for pair activity or for group discussion. Usually, I have time for pair discussion or group activity for about once a week. And then I'll provide some topics, and then they will conduct some discussion. And after discussion, they will come up their answers. So that's basically the situation in Taiwan. So we have less time for individual attention, and we can only do groups in pairs. And now let's move on to the current situation. With the implement of the new curriculum beginning in the year of 2019. And in Taiwan, it is very famous because it is quite influential. We call it 108课纲. And in Taiwan, with this new curriculum, the launching of this new curriculum, each senior high school is granted more freedom in course design. In my school, we have one extra period of English class for the alternative curriculum. And that's the emphasis of that's the focus of my presentation today. What I did in this report is focus only on alternative curriculum, because in the other 4 periods I have to prepare my students for the exam, for their accuracy, for good performance, and so on. So I can only conduct my experiments on this one extra period. And because of this one extra moment, students, teachers are encouraged to carry out their individual teaching projects. And that's that's the background of my experiment. And please move on to the next one. 好，下一页。 So, okay, my report is going to be divided into two parts. And the first part is shorter. It is for first grader student. When they reach, okay, senior high school, they're about 15 to 16 years old. And the second part is for, okay, the second grader. So by integrating gender issues and other social cultural issues to my teaching curriculum, I want to, when we speak, okay, well, we always have a purpose in mind. I want to broaden students' horizons. And the second thing, I want to boost their confidence in expressing their ideas in English. That's something that is of vital importance to me as a teacher and as a friend, okay, to my student. So now we are going to move on to the first part of my experimental project. So step 1, okay, I call it step 1, and this is done for first graders. And for this first part, please move backward, 请往后，慢一点。Cultivating students' literary competence by reading short stories. So this is the focus. My focus is on improving their literary competence. When we read the textbook, we know the story, we know the important words and phrases. But sometimes when students are so familiar with standard answers, they are afraid, okay, when they are asked to give their own expressions, when they don't have, the only answer. So I think that the purpose of cultivating students' literary competence is to help them to understand, the language in a more, metaphorical way, and to improve their language ability. So I think reading short stories is a very good training. It's not too long so that your students won't be frightened. At the same time, it's easy to understand, makes it easier to carry out our ongoing discussion. Okay, please move on to the next page. 好，我们到下一页。So I provide 2 worksheets for your reference. The first one, worksheet 1. In this simple worksheet, I just focus on basic literary terms, and I want to make sure if they understand the plot of the story. For example, as you can see from the handout, the first part of my exercise is to arrange the following event chronologically in order of time. The second part, I try to analyze, I try to teach them, I try to give them basic tools of literary analysis. So we talk about terms like exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and end, and so on. And then let's move on to a longer example. Right now, here we are going to share this one. Reading Short Story by Fitzgerald. This is the book that I use in my one semester curriculum. It is composed of 6 stories, and the previous one, the previous hand worksheet is also a worksheet during this course, and we talk about this story, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, and other stories. And this is a very interesting book. Okay, let's move on to the next page. Let me tell you the basic story of Benjamin Button. All right, Benjamin Button, the character, was born as an old man in his 80s, which terrified his parents so much that he was deserted immediately. Okay, imagine you have a baby who is much, much older than you. All right, so he terrified his parents, he was deserted. While other human beings grew into maturity and age, he became younger and even became a baby in the end of a story. With a very different life path, Button had a very peculiar interaction with his contemporaries. As we learn from Professor Chan's lecture, we know that the development of the child of the students is very important. But Benjamin Button had a very peculiar. We know that it's just the story. It's a kind of fantasy. But this kind of give us a example. Give us tell us exact what will happen if this kind of situation situation happens. So he was unable to form bonds with his contemporaries, with his peers and family. So in a sense, he was destined to be misunderstood and alone. So before we move on, that's watch a short movie introduction of this story. 好，我们放影片。This is the movie adaptation, and let's look. Watch this all together. It was changed into a film about 10 years ago, and it has a dramatic presentation of Benjamin Button's case.
I was born under unusual circumstances. While everybody else was aging, I was getting younger, all alone.
He was born as a very, very old man, and people took pity on him. And he could barely walk when he was first, when he was a baby.
You're so young. Only on the outside.
So let's give us a short glimpse of what this book is about, and also the interesting story that I asked students to. I'm sorry. To think about and to reflect on. And now, I want to share with you what my students wrote to my response. I asked them to write what would happen. Please move on to the next slide. 好，下一页。All right, so after knowing this story, because students, they were very, they were very young, they didn't understand, experience many ups and downs in life. But when they first read the story, they would just think, it is incredible. And after reading this incredible story, I happened to find a very interesting remark by Mark Twain. And Mark Twain is a very famous and very influential American novelist, known for his sense of humor. But this statement, I think, is far from humorous, because he wrote, life would be infinitely happier if we could be born at the age of 80 and gradually approach 18. So it would be much better if you were born very old and then you can reverse the life path. And I asked the student, do you agree with him? The student wrote this worksheet when she was very young, when she was just graduated from junior high school, and so she had a very cute answer. And because I'm afraid it's not very easy to read, so I typed this one. Please move on to the next slide. 好，请转。I don't agree with his statement because I don't want to start my life from an abnormal way. And when I grow younger, everyone around me is getting older and older. That's the main reason why I disagree with Mark Twain's statement. What's more, when I grow up, my son or daughter will even look older than I. What a weird life. last but not least, when I grow into a baby, I will die. That's so unbelievable. You see, okay, her words are very simple, but okay, she is able to express her feelings in a very direct way. And okay, even though it's not a sophisticated answer, you know, students understand the story, and at least she can understand the plot of the story. And for me, I think that is the requirement I have set. I think that she has met my requirement, and so I gave her an A. Okay, I think that's okay. When we teach this literary course, it's hard to evaluate their performance, but I think that's okay. The purpose of my literary course is I want to improve I want to broaden their horizon. I want to push them to think something beyond their ordinary daily experiences. As far as they are willing to try, as long as they are willing to express, or they can write that down clearly, I think that is a perfect job. Okay, that is a good enough job for me. So that is my first year project. It's basically helping students to improve their literary competence. By improving their literary competence, I want to help them to improve their language level. We know that when we first learn a new language, we just know basic words and grammar. But when we learn the language maybe 2 or 3 years later, we can begin to appreciate its humor, or we can appreciate its irony, or we can sense the feelings between the lines. So I think reading short stories is a good start for helping students to be able to read between the lines, and they are able to say something, respond to it, and express their views. Okay, so that's the first year project. And now let's move on to our second project. And here we are going to move on to gender education. So step 2, this is for second graders. This is what I did in the previous year. And here I will try to integrate gender issues into English teaching. I think it applies not only for gender issues, but also for other issues as well. When we cultivate our students, language level to a certain level, we can, lead them to explore other issues. We can, in that sense, we can, broaden their horizon, and we can also help them use the language authentically in different contexts as they may encounter in the future. So I think that is something very interesting. And please move on to next page. Next slide. So this is basically only a six-week mini course on Virginia Woolf. We in Taiwan we have 18 weeks for 18 weeks in the semester. So this is just 1/3 of it, and that means I have during the whole semester I teach 3 different classes. So from group week 1 to week 6 we have 1 class, and then from 7 to 12 we have another class. So this is the program that I have done to 3 groups of students, so they gave me different responses. So through this course I have a purpose. So when I design the course, I have a purpose that is I want students to pay attention to the social and cultural context in the early 20th century that shaped Virginia Woolf. That we know that in the early 20th century everything began to change, and values and culture and technology, everything began to change. And 100 years later, just like my school, we have a history of 100 years. So 100 years later, everything is different. In the past, students here love to major in literature, love to learn liberal arts. They want to be teachers. They want to be civil servants. But students here today want to be engineers. They want to be scientists. They want to be doctors. So I want to pay attention to draw their attention to the cultural and social differences, contextual differences between Virginia Woolf's time and young girls' time. All right, that is my purpose. And now let's move on to the next slide. So the very first question, why do I choose Virginia Woolf? And I have 3 reasons for choosing this figure in particular. Let's move on to the first one. All right, so this is my personal preference. As I told you before, I got my PhD in literature. So I have, okay, literature has hold a fascination for me. And I think that that is the same for every teacher. You must have something that you feel so, okay, so much, okay, passionate about. You enjoy it, you like it so much that you want to share it with your students, with your colleague, with people with people you know. And okay, Virginia Woolf. I still remember the first time I saw her for a portrait. It happened about 20 or 30 years ago when I was just a freshman in the university. When I saw her picture, I love that. Fragile and subtle and highly sensitive charisma. And later on when I read her novel, I found that she was a woman she was a mysteric woman, and she had a very beautiful soul, and she went beyond her times, and that is something we can find similar traits in her and other women as well. So please move on to the next slide. 下一页，谢谢。Okay, this is the photo that I fell in love with many years ago. She looks so delicate, so beautiful, and so her eyes and her facial expression say so much. I cannot express that in actual words, but I just I felt intoxicated. And she was one of the most influential 20th century British novelists. And when we talk about her literature, her work, we can also teach our students, inform our students of the cultural and social background of that time. And she was the founder of the Bloomsbury Circle, and she has some novels and collections of essays. So she herself demonstrated a very outstanding novelist. She had her own talent. She had even though she didn't go to school at that time, she studied by her own, and she made herself. She was a kind of self-made woman. She tried to despite her mental situation, she continued to write. She continued to help do a lot of influential things. So that I think that's something very very attractive. So I want to help introduce her to my students. All right, and now let's please move on to the next slide. And here I want to mention two things. Here, as we talk about gender issues, and when we choose someone to talk about, we need to have a focus. We need to have a focus. For me, Virginia Woolf, I choose her for my girl students for a reason, because in her A Room of One's Own and other books, she emphasizes we need to speak out women's stories, and we need to let people know women's view of the world. And she talks about a literary of women novelists such as Jane Austen and other ones. And by that she help women understand or she help all the people understand women's creativity. And as I told you before, I thought my students were I think my students are very intelligent. They are hardworking, and they try to achieve high in their future. But as they grow up and begin to work in society, sometimes I find that they are limited by gender stereotypes still prevalent in Taiwan, and I think it's still prevalent in most of the world. We always say that since you're a woman, you should do this and not do this. We tend to be confined, or sometimes we just feel not courageous enough to try to push ourselves further. And I think the story like Virginia Woolf, such kind of story inspire girls to be more confident, to be more daring. And here she talks about, as a woman, I have no country. As a woman, my country is the whole world. We often talk about the difference between history and her story. And at least I think this is a meaningful viewpoint for us to think about. As we can see, more and more women came to be the leader in the world. Okay, so that means women's story may have a chance to be heard and valued right now. So this is my personal reason. I want to, this is Virginia Woolf is someone I adore, and I also want to share what I like to with my students. And the second reason is very important because, we teach students, we help them improve their language ability. And someday they are going to soar high, so they are going to fly much higher than we can imagine. They may go to work in different places. They may go to another country and stay there for the rest of their life. And they need to step in, they need to fit in the world. And I think, so it's very important to know the global trend or something that, has a contemporary, that has hold valid on the contemporary scale. So the legacy of Virginia Woolf on the contemporary culture, I can say that is still strongly felt in Taiwan as well as in the rest of the world. And here I would like to cite 2 examples. Please move on. Yeah, everybody know who he is, right? Yeah, do you like him? People say that he is quite, lots of people say he is quite handsome and charismatic. And it's very interesting I happen to find that, when he was young, he will talk about Virginia Woolf, when he want to pursue girls. That's a very interesting, passage. He said that, this is from his autobiography published last year. He said that he read Marx and Marcuse, he read socialist work, so he could talk to the long-legged socialists in the dorm. And he would talk about Foucault and Woolf for the hetero bisexual who were mostly black. So, books and authors seems to be the keywords, the clue words for you to pursue a girl or, get to know, find a topic to talk to. So that is President Barack Obama's case. And now we are going to move on to another example in Taiwan. All right, this is another interesting example. Virginia Woolf, her work is grew, is very inspirational for girls, for women in different fields. So even one of the theatrical director founded her theater group just called Shakespeare Sisters. This is what happens in Taiwan. All right, next, move on. And the last one is I want to find this story and get inspiration for young girls. And this is so besides literary, besides sharing of my interest in Virginia Woolf, I can also help my students help them get motivated to learn this one. And now we are going to move on to the concrete part. What do I do in this 6-week mini course? And I think this is the part maybe you are most interested in. I divide it into 2 parts. The first part is individual. Individual writing practice. In addition to standard answers, I think it's better to ask them to write written response and also oral presentation. And now we will talk about individual reflection on Woolf's ideas. We know it's not easy to understand literature. It's not easy to understand a profound writer, but we can summarize, we can clarify their main ideas for our students so they can easily understand the main idea. And when they grow up, when their language competence is better, they can read the original and form their own judgment. And that's that's my purpose. So I want to train their critical thinking and writing ability. This is part A. And so after after a guided reading of some experts in her book, I asked them to write 2 questions, 2 topics. Number 1, a room of one's own. And of course, we know that it's a room that we can be free and have one's privacy. And number 1, this is for young girls, something they never think about. Do women need a room of her own and a sufficient amount of money if she wants to engage in the profession of writing, or if you want to engage in any profession? Number 2, Wolf maintains an androgynous. Androgynous means the combination of male and female. Okay, male and female trait is the greatest state of mind. When an author is equipped with this trait, he or she will write beyond gender boundaries. For her, an androgynous mind is the requirement of the greatest writer. Express your view on this statement. Okay, so this is the main part of my presentation today. So I choose 6 works to share with you. And now we are going to move on to the response to question A. Okay, question A. And here you are going to see how different students of different language levels respond to the same question. Okay, let's see their writing. So please, move to the next slide. So the first one, material base of writing or other professions. Young girls won't think that much. Okay, they just think, whether it is important to write, to have a room and to have money. All right, so let's see their response. The first one. Okay, this one is a little bit difficult to read, so I typed that for you. Now let's move on to the next slide. 下一个章，下一节。Okay, so now let me read this for you. I partially agree with Virginia Woolf. Nowadays, having money, a room isn't a must to write fiction. And instead, all you need is some paper and a pen. And I would say maybe computer. However, I do agree that a comfortable place can make it a lot easier. And having some money can get you to other places that may inspire you. Inspiration is not creatable, but traveling around can increase the chance of encountering it. So you see, students have different interpretation. They have different understanding. In the early 20th century, Virginia Woolf would emphasize room and money. But here, for students who grew up in the 21st century, they would think traveling is important. A nice place is important to writing, but everyone is different. Your own room might not be the right place for writing, but on the other hand, a noisy cafe could be. As long as you feel comfortable and you can write effectively, it's the right place, no matter it's large or small, quiet or noisy, bright or dim. I chose this essay because I think the student is very daring. Okay, she can express something that is different from my expectation, from our expectation. However, from her response, we can say, we can feel that she is a woman. She is a young woman. She may grow up to a young woman with confidence because she knows what she needs and she knows that it is not necessary to impose a standard answer on everyone. So that's the reason I incorporate into my presentation. And now let's move on to the second worksheet. All right, now let's move on to the second one. It's more comfortable and freer to a woman to have her own room if she is trying to write fiction. Women's rights were severely limited in the past, and their freedom of speech was ignored by the society. In recent years, more and more people have stand out to raise people's awareness of feminism. A precious opportunity appeared, so humans should hold it tight. Not only men, but humans need their own rooms and privacy. So that's her need for privacy. She says that for privacy, you can enjoy and to imagine. To make their works better, they also need money to make their living demands. Women don't need to beg for their rights at all. They possess potential ability and they are brave. They are brave. I like her words. And all women have to do is strengthen their willpower and their tranquil space to show their affections. With a suitable environment, fiction will be done with perfect quality. And my remark says good interpretation. I think the Virginia Woolf's focused in her time, and today's focus will be different. But here you can say students have different interpretation of this topic. And now let's move on to the third one. Let's skip this one. It's the same. 这个一样，我们再跳下一章。Okay, the third one. I totally agree with this opinion. A room is a symbol of personal privacy. Whether you are a woman or man, everyone should have their own room. Furthermore, if we can have our own room, we will have a better environment to do our work. As far as I am concerned, I can work efficiently if I am not in a quiet place. Also, I will be very strained if someone else stays with me while I'm writing an essay. Money is as important as a separate room for the person who wants to write fiction because, okay, here you can see some incoherency. Okay, because you probably need some money to launch your fiction before you are famous for it. Otherwise, no one can read your fiction and you will end up in failure. Comparatively speaking, okay, this student's English writing ability is not that good, but she can express her ideas clearly. And from here, you can see a different focus as well. She brings her personal experience. She says she cannot work if she is not in a quiet place, and she is afraid of being bothered, being disturbed while she is doing something great. And though in a different social title, different context, you can see she echoes Virginia Woolf's idea. And now let's please move on to the next one. Please move on to the next one. I think the creation doesn't have to have lots of money to carry out, but what should be considered is the purpose of creation. If I want to be a full-time writer, I think I should have the basic ability to live on my own feet and support myself to continue my creation, or I will be forced to give up because of the reality. As for having our own room, it also means having a personal space, which is a familiar and customary environment to you, so you will be less likely to be disturbed by others. As a result, I think having a personal room is a necessary condition for creation. So here, okay, this student has a talent for writing. She is not very strong in her English, but she is very strong in her Chinese, and she can write very delicate words description. And here you can see she focuses on the writing. Okay, maybe she wants to be a writer in the future, possibly. All right, now let's move on to the last two examples. All right, so you can see this student has a very good handwriting, and okay, she also get almost the highest scores in my class, and but you can see her writing. Okay, I think a woman must have money so that she can buy pens and paper to write fiction. Besides, before a woman can make a living by sell her creations, she must have some money to live a normal life. But I believe that a woman can still create great works without having his or her own room. Any place with good atmosphere is a perfect environment for creation. Even though she has a very good English score in English, I think she doesn't think that topic that profoundly. So from students' writing, you can get to know their different talents or their strengths. Some students are very strong in academic writing, in academic tests, but they are not that strong in expressing their ideas. Or when they express their ideas, they could just say some blunt words, some simple words, and without be able while they are not able to to express more subtle or complicated things. So that's what I mean, that you can get to know students other potentials from writing. All right, now we are going to move on to the last one. The last one, if a woman is to write, I'm sorry, 请跳回前页. If a woman is to write fiction, she must have money. First, she can go traveling. Okay, so students love traveling, and thus broaden her horizons. What's more, she can also spend all of her leisure time conceiving the fiction without worrying about money. Also, it is crucial for a woman to have her own room if she wants to write fiction. Writing needs quiet atmosphere, and without the disturbance of others, people can indulge themselves in their own tranquil world. In a nutshell, money and individual room are symbols of freedom and privacy for women to do whatever they want. From my perspective, I totally agree with this opinion. This student is good at elaborating on a given statement. She can try to paraphrase and try to use different perspective to echo, to refer to the simple sentence. You see, she can write lines in response to only one statement, and so she quote a lot of things, and she uses she's good at paraphrasing. So that's the first topic. And now let's move on to the second one. The second one is much more difficult. So now let's because our time is running short, I will just read the first one. 我们看第一个就好. Okay, so this is about the androgynous mind. In my opinion, the choice of the novel theme should never be limited by gender. Even women novelists can write their works related to world themes, such as this journalist who won Nobel Prize in Literature. A successful writer should indeed be able to transcend a common way of thinking and present his or her views in his works to readers. Perhaps we should focus more on the author's writing perspective and personal point of view than on the author's gender. In my course, I don't want to give a fixed standard answer to students. I want to help them. I want to encourage them to have their own thinking. It is not important to give a perfect answer to me. Instead, I hope they try to grasp the meaning of the text and try to put their thought into words. And I think that is already a very challenging test for them. And then this one, I don't agree with the statement. She says it directly. Snow Mind can, I'm sorry, please go back to the slide. 我们到前页这个地方. No mind can always transmit emotion without impediment or be undivided. In my opinion, a soul that has the ability to inspire others can be considered a great mind. It doesn't necessarily need to be perfect, flawless. All right, so this is a very interesting interpretation, and I love students' attempt to get to come to terms with difficult things. Because that will push them to that will in a way reminds them they need to keep on learning. We know that even for a language learner for a long term, I have learned English for quite 30 or even 40 years. I still keep learning something new for every day. And for students, I think it's very important for them to have that kind of awareness. Otherwise, they will just be satisfied with who they are and be lack motivation to keep on learning. So this is my first part of presentation about individual report. And now I would like to move on to the second part. The second part is about group presentation. So now that was something I think that's very interesting for me. So individual written report. This is a worksheet, and make a group report on a successful woman in the field that you want to go into in the future. And later I'm going to ask you about your students' career options for college or when they grow of age. In my school, most students choose to major in arts, major in liberal arts and science, but more and more students want to be engineers, want to be teachers nowadays. So I want them to think about what they are going to do in the future and try to find a successful woman in the field that they want to go into. And I also ask them to do some research. For example, if you want to be a vet, if you want to be a lawyer, what kind of qualification do you need to have in order to have this kind of qualification? And to make an example for them to understand the topic, or what they are going to do, I provide a simple example. Please move forward. I provide 4 examples of admirable women in the early 20th century and in my contemporary world. Please move forward. So lots of my students in TNGS wants to become doctors, and the first female doctor in Taiwan. All right, so she is called Miss Xin Cai Xin 女士. He was born in Taipei, and after completing her school education, she went to Japan to receive professional medical training in Japan. And after graduation, she returned to Taiwan and opened her gynecology clinic in Taichung, delivering numerous babies. So she was good to women. She could help women deliver babies. And she also set up a school training midwives. And now let's move on to the second one. 下一张。Wow, this is the most famous renowned alumni of TNGS. Okay, she graduated from our school many years ago. She was a doctor and she was, she actually got her PhD in medical science. In addition, she was the mayor of, her hometown, Jiayi. And, after graduating, she went to Japan to receive a medical training and got PhD degree. A woman with extraordinary courage and vision. She was active in politics and elected as mayor of Jiayi more than once. So she was also a politician, highly respected by people of her hometown. She was nicknamed Mazu, the Mazu of Jiayi. Mazu is a goddess in Taiwanese folk culture. She is highly worshipped in Taiwan, and because of her influence, people regarded her, people worship her as if she were a goddess. As if she were a goddess. And now I'm going to introduce two contemporary admirable women in Taiwan. The first one, I'm going to introduce our incumbent ambassador to USA, Kim Xiao. 下一张。Oh, she is very young, and I'm very proud to tell you that she went to the same junior high school as I. I was 1 year older than she. She was also born in Tainan, the southern part of Taiwan, and after she graduated from junior high, she went to America for her further education. So we didn't have her in our TNGS, and let's watch a brief talk by her.
很多人问我们：“你疯了吗？为什么不用混血？客人又吃不出来，为什么一定要？”
I am proud to introduce Taiwan Ambassador H.E.B. Kim Chow. Will you please give her a round of applause and welcome her?
Thank you, Karen, for that kind introduction. And also thank you to the Honorable Chair, Stuart Adams, for hosting this wonderful here in the great state of Utah. I'm so honored to be able to be here in person to use this occasion, express my gratitude to so many of you, to ALEC, and to the so many outstanding freedom-loving legislators around the United States for your friendship and support for the bilateral relationship with my country, Taiwan. And there are a number of specific items that I do want to highlight in terms of our gratitude to all of you. First of all, I want to thank ALEC for awarding my president, Tsai Ing-wen, with the International Pioneer Award for Leadership, highlighting her commitment to free markets and also to fighting for democracy. I think this is an honor not only for the President of Taiwan, but it is also recognition of the freedom-loving people of Taiwan and our determination to keep Taiwan free. I often say that you are living in the land of the free. We are living on the island of the free. I also want to thank ALEC for including in your model policy last year the agenda of supporting a bilateral trade agreement with Taiwan. Bilateral trade with Taiwan is in the interests of both our countries. For us, it will help us diversify from overdependence on the Chinese economy. I think this necessity has been highlighted, especially during COVID, where very often we are vulnerable to dependencies on China, whether it's on the provision of PPEs or for other supplies that go into our pharmaceutical and medical device supply chain. What we want to do is work among like.
Sorry to interrupt, teacher. We are running out of time. You have 3 minutes left till group discussion, so we have to speed up. Teacher, you didn't turn on your microphone.
All right, I see your point. So now, okay, please move back to our slide. I will finish the rest of my slide in about 3 or 5 minutes. Thank you. All right, so this is the first one, and another woman that I talk about is the woman who just won the Olympic silver medal in badminton, Miss Dai Ziyin. Okay, because we are running out of time, I won't play her video. And now let's move on to students' task. Next slide, please. So students who take the course, okay, I mean, there are 30 students in my class, and they are divided into groups or 2 or 3 members. It's up to them whether they want to team up with 2 classmates or 3 classmates. And they are asked to work together and produce a 3-minute speech on their chosen topics. And that is the chosen woman, okay, role model. Okay, please move on. So here I will cite 3 examples. The first one, okay, this is a group presentation on a renowned pianist, Miss Lina Ye in Taiwan. Next one, please. And this is presentation of the success story of Miss Zhi Chenjian. Okay, she is a young veterinarian in charge of an animal shelter. She committed suicide because, okay, in protest of unfair accusation against her, because people accuse her of, okay, killing animal. Her job is to put dogs to death, and okay, people accuse her of being a butcher, and she couldn't stand that, okay, accusation, so she committed suicide. Next page, please. And the last one we want to talk about is presentation on influential psychiatrist in Taiwan, Dr. Hui Wendeng. All right, so these are 3 examples. As these examples show, okay, their topic, okay, they cover a variety of topics, and we can even do that even during the online presentation during the level 3 COVID-19 alert that happened in May and June. So we can still conduct this presentation, and students, they make slides and they presented the topic. And please move on to the next topic. All right, so here as a conclusion, I would say my reflection on the whole project, especially the group report part. So this is a very fruitful part of my project. I was often amazed by the topic they chose and impressed by the depth of their oral report. By dividing the class of 30 students into 10 groups, students are informed of 10 different life paths, which will definitely provide them much food for thought to think about their future career, to think about, okay, what women can do and what women cannot do. I asked them to make a peer evaluation of others' oral reports, and from their evaluation sheet, I can see their eyes are opened and their minds are set on a higher level after getting informed of these inspiring stories. To me, this kind of interaction between the forerunners, or between the women in the past and the young women is very, very significant. So that's all for my presentation, and thank you for your attention. And do I have to talk about my topics right now? 现在要讲题目了吗？
Thank you so much for teacher. Now we are going to have.
Puan, teacher, you can tell the questions that the students need to discuss now.
Okay, thank you. So it's the end of my presentation. In my presentation, I talk about what I did in my school, and also some focus. I want to emphasize flexibility, and in this kind of alternative curriculum, we can see students' various responses from my presentation. So here I would like to give you 2 topics to think about. Please move on to my slide. The first one. So, 30 years ago, most students in TNGS preferred to major in liberal arts and they were highly interested in jobs like teachers and civil servants. In comparison, today, a larger percentage of students want to become scientists, engineers, and doctors. And I am curious to know, do you have a similar shift in job options in Indonesia? And what are some of the dominant job choices for boy and girl students in your place? This is my first question, first topic. So when you talk about your different job options, you can also think about some courses, some gender specific courses or some related issues for your students. Number two, what are possible challenges of integrating gender or other cultural social issues into your English curriculum? Please come up with 3 feasible ways to meet the challenge. Okay, so these are my 2 topics for discussion. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for teachers. Now we are going to have the discussion, and as usual, we are going to assign the participant into some groups. So please wait for the grouping. Ming, can you send the first question of the PPT? Yeah, haha.
Hello.
We're going to, yeah, hello, I'm great. I'm Yun-Hsin Wang.
Oh, Ewan.
Yes.
请问我等一下要请同学讲吗？ here.
Kak Lina bisa dengar suara Puan nggak? Kak Lina, Ibu Elva, and Ibu Mustafira. Halo. Halo.
Halo, kedengar ya?
Iya. Okay, now let's discuss about your answer. Is there anyone who wants to try to share your discussion or your answer? Maybe we can try to talk about the first question. Mungkin kayak Bu Mustafira, terus Ibu Elva sama Ibu Lina. Do you think that in South Aceh, Southwest Aceh or Abdia, or maybe in other regions in Aceh, do boys prefer to have like civil governments jobs, or both female and boys and girls, both of gender, they really want to be a civil government? What do you think?
Maybe exactly they want to seek for another job, but there is a high risk, so that based on the recommendation of their parents, maybe they will choose to be civil servants. Yeah.
Do you know what is the reason, Ibu Elva? Maybe do you want to try to give some thought why a lot of Chinese parents, they want their children to be civil government?
Okay. Yes, you can hear me?
Okay, I can hear your voice, Ibu Elva. Okay.
Okay. I think because the parents, the Chinese parents want the children to be civil government, because they want to make earn money maybe, and they can make what we call like apa namanya itu, aduh, dipandang lebih bagus gitu kalau jadi civil
government. So if the children can be a civil government, it's mean that they have like a higher level of their status.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Status, okay.
Okay. So do you
yang menjanjikan, yang aman gitu. Safety future, how to say that? Safe, their future will be safe without any problem with every month government will give the civil servant money, so they do not have how to say any risk. Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Sometimes
So do you?
If we have private company, private job, maybe if they get sick, they will lose their money, I think.
Okay.
Parenting like that, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so do you think, Bu Mustafira and Ibu Elva, if you have children, do you want to force them to be civil government or other?
It's not.
No.
Of course not.
I do. I don't agree. Yeah, I don't agree. I think they should help many people. So they should create one business, one business, and can help others. Yeah, that's by their own business.
So far, what do you want to support your children to be in the future, Ibu Mustafira?
Of course, they have to be a good Muslimah, and whatever they choose, they have to be help other good Muslim. Ya Allah, rida, how to say that? blessed for their life, with their job, with their education too, of course.
Okay,
Yeah.
how about Ibu Elva, what do you want your children be in the future?
Okay, I want my children become a good person, honest person, and I ask them to make a religious, make religious. Whatever you want to be, as far as he or he a good person in the religion, I think.
Okay, and how about Ibu Nurhilda? Welcome, Ibu Nurhilda. I think our discussion will be ended soon. Okay, Nurhilda, do you think that? Okay, time is up. Okay. Time is up. We are going to go back to the meeting room.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Kak, tadi ada sakit-sakit, cuma aku nggak ngerti maksudnya karena kan beda gitu. Aku tiba-tiba ada berubahnya lagi ngomong Prof.
Yeah. No. They need to discuss first. We still have time because now it's only 4:20. This section continue to 4:50.
Okay. Welcome back everyone after we have like I think nice discussion because this is talking about the gender and especially about the jobs also. Okay, is there anyone who wants to give your opinion about the first question?
Can you say something about what you just told me before?
Oh, okay, Mr. Sukri, do you want to re-explain?
No problems. I love to share the experience.
Okay, good.
Like we have discussed in our group with the teacher, most of the time the situation is almost same like in Taiwan, where our students, either boys or girls, they prefer to choose a secure job, a secure income jobs, like to be a civil servant. When they are civil servant, they will have a steady income every month and also pensions. Most of them want to become that career, and also they, especially the boys, they prefer to be a policeman and also an army, because you know, if you are policeman and army, you look cool.
Yeah.
And also in my community, especially, the profession are very well respected. You get income, you get pensions, and also you get respect from the community. There is a little bit change these days, especially about the choice of the job. Most of them still choose these three jobs, but there is very few of them want to be YouTuber, because what they see from YouTube, YouTuber gets very high popularity. They get steady income, and a lot of new millionaire in Indonesia are YouTubers. So the boys and the girls from the school also want to be like that. So I think the motive is income, steady income. That's from our group. Thank you, Miss Puan.
Thank you so much for Mr. Sukri Adani. Okay, and then now let's listen to the second answer from other groups. Okay, who wants to try to share about your thoughts about your group's discussion? Okay, is there anyone? Because so far I did like the same group discussion for the first question. Oke, silakan siapa yang mau sharing yang untuk yang kedua? Ada yang di grup kedua? Okay, Hilda, Ilyas, okay, please.
Okay, I'm sorry, Miss Puan. I don't know what is the questions. I'm lately for coming to the room. May I know what is the questions, please? So I can answer it a lot.
Okay, actually the question is about, please listen to me. What are possible challenges of integrating gender or other cultural or social issues into your English curriculum? Please come up with 3 feasible ways to meet the challenge. Maybe when you are teaching English, and then what kinds of like issues related to the gender, yeah, would you like to share to us?
Okay, like this, for English teacher, my answer, English teacher is for the woman. The woman is in Aceh is so much, and then for the boy, they don't like to teach, and of course for English teacher, they don't care about that. In our community in Blampidi, it's only we can calculate it how many boy want to study to be the teacher, English teacher. So the dominant is the woman teacher in Aceh, especially in our part, yeah, in our area. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Hilda. How about the rest of you? Do you still have do you want to share some thoughts about your discussion or maybe your answer? Okay, Pak Sukri, don't forget to turn on your microphone because we saw that you raised your hand.
Thank you, Miss Puan. I'd like to add what Miss Hilda Ilyas said. It is true. Even in our campus, the composition between boys and girls, from out of 28 students, only 3 to 5 boys. And our campus, our department is English department. And this phenomenon is not only right now. When I was at college English department, we were only 5 boys, and the rest are the girls. I don't know what happened with this. That I don't know what the perception developed in the community, but there is one thing that most of the people in Aceh, especially, believe that English is not a good choice of language. Because because as Islam, we prefer to learn Arabic than English.
I see.
So the parents' perception about their language is not as high as learning Arabic. So that's why maybe the support from the parents and community is not as high as if you learn Arabic. And also, I think the needs of having a good skill of English is not that high in a small town like in our place, because we don't see any foreigners. Yeah, it's only us. It's only the local people. So you don't have anyone to speak to practice your English.
To practice.
And yeah, and if you want to be a policeman or army, you don't need English. I think because of that, maybe the needs and also the community perception really affected the situation of English teaching, especially in my town. Thank you, Ms. Puan.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your passion.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Hi everyone. I have a questions for all of you here. in terms of gender issues. Okay, for example, when I read Quran or Hadith, in Hadith it says man could have 4 wives, right? So I'm somehow curious, what's the perspective of men's, and also the point of view of girls, female teachers. Could anybody share with me about this? Even though I understand that to have 4 wives, usually you should have widows, disadvantaged women, they are poor, right? And also may need to have enough income to support, right? I understand the reason behind it, but now we are already 2021. I wonder how a Chinese woman take it, and also the man or in Indonesia or Muslim men take it. I'm kind of curious about your perceptions. Thank you. If I'm rude, please forgive me, but I'm so curious. Okay, thank you. When I was in RJ, I didn't have opportunity to ask about this. Okay, because I was in cultural shock and to learn about Ramadan. But now I move on this stage to learn about gender culture, particularly in Aceh. Thank you. Terima kasih.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor Mei-ying, for your nice question. Okay, I think Pak Sukri will respond to your questions because one of the question will be related to the man, and maybe for the second one in the female perspective. Maybe Nurul Hilda Ilyas, you as a wife, you also can try to give some response. Okay, please take your time.
Astagfirullahaladzim, la ilaha illallah ya rahman rahim. Ampun deh. Ampun, anak yang malu ini.
I think someone did.
Ampun.
Okay, Pak Sukri, please don't forget to turn on your microphone.
Actually, I'm waiting for Miss Hilda Ilyas answer.
Oh, okay, Miss Hilda first. Okay, Miss Hilda first. Don't forget to turn on your microphone.
Okay, thank you. Again, Mia. I think as a wife, and then my husband is also a teacher. So it's a very, how to say it, wonderful, and then very, I love it, be a teacher. So for the woman and also a wife and also a teacher, I love to be a teacher, and I love to be a woman, and I love to be a wife. The woman, it's so very hard. It's so very hard in their life. But it's so beautiful because for the man doesn't feel like the woman feel. Yeah. And then for
Miss Hilda, Miss Hilda, do you agree with like the statement, for example, if the male is allowed to have like 4 wives, and you as a wife, do you agree if maybe like your husband get married again, or you don't want, you just want to be the one, the only one in your husband's heart?
No, I disagree with that. Okay, I disagree with that. Because, you know, like I said before, the woman is so very hard life, because she is be a woman, she is be a mom, she is be a wife, and also be a teacher. So please, for the boy, for the man, not married, only one wife. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Miss Hilda, for your thoughts. And then now let's move on to Pak Sukri. Please take your time. Pak Sukri, don't forget your microphone.
Thank you, Miss Puan. Actually, we need to separate it becomes into two issues. The first one, the religion related answer, and then the real situation right now. In religion, it is this is based on the religion, what I understand. In religion say it is allowed for a man to have maximum 4 wives. That's what religion say. But there is a condition for that, requirement and condition, and very strict one. You have first, I think, to get the permission from your first wife, and I think the perspective of woman already answered by Miss Hilda. If you cannot get the permission, you cannot move on to get the second wife. And also, you need to be able to be fair. And to be fair, it's very difficult. Even though you have a lot of money, it is difficult to be emotionally fair to all of your wives. It's very difficult. And the reality right now, the proportion of men and women in Indonesia, based on the statistic, I just Google it. So it's it's about almost 60% of the population are men in Indonesia, and 40% something are women. So in Islam, it is not allowed to do husband and wife relationship outside of marriage. It's not allowed. So one of the legacy of human that I believe, and also my religion based on my understanding say, is to live, to pass on your legacy. One of the form of legacy is to have an offspring, to have someone that you can pass on your thought. So in Islam, if you don't have married, if you don't get married, you cannot have a child or children. So that's my perception. I'm not the expert on the religions. So in Islam, it's okay, but with conditions. And based on the situation, Ms. Hilda already answered, women hardly give permission. But if both men and women are in mutual agreement, why not? The men can go proceed. This is not about having, if both agree, why not? That's my conclusion. So the main point is agreement.
Agreement. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Sukri Adani. Okay, because the time is limited, so teachers Yun-Hsin Wang, would you like to give some conclusion about your last talk? Yeah.
Thank you for your response. I enjoy your talk very much. Thank you for your response. I enjoy your talk, and especially thank you, Mr. Sukri, okay, for your inspiring and you are also very generous sharing of your experience. Okay, whether it is about your family or about teaching situation in Taiwan, teaching situation in your country. And I see this is a very interesting and very fruitful interaction between Taiwanese teachers and teachers over in Indonesia. And I hope that we both can connect a certain kind of interaction, and we can learn from each other's experience. It's very interesting to find that both of young people in your place and in our place all want to be YouTubers. And also when we talk about so that gives me a feeling that even though we talk about some grand issues, so talk about English teaching, talk about this great topics like gender studies and cultural issues, we still need to go down to basics. We still need to think about what our students need or what we need in our daily life. All right, so that's my conclusion. Thank you very much for your attendance and also for your feedback. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so
Teacher Wang.
much,
Thank
teachers
you.
Yun-Hsin Wang.
welcome.
Okay, now for the last section, before we are going to end our section, I would like to wait for a while because we are going to show the reflection. So we are going to have like two types of the reflections about the first day of our workshop. Maybe later our friend will show it on our screen. Okay, maybe waiting for the screen.
王老师，现在我们就是要讲我们的功课而已。如果您当然可以留着啊，如果您有事也可以先离开，都好。好，谢谢您，谢谢。
Okay, actually we are going to have the two types of reflection of our first day workshop. The first one is about the group reflections and the second one will be our personal reflection. And you do not need to be worried because you have to submit it like before December 16, So you do not need like to do it like right now, no. Okay, as you can see on the screen, can you see it clearly? Okay, for the group reflection, let me explain it first. And after that, if you have some questions, and then you may ask me. Okay, so for the group reflection, we are going to practice about our collaboration. Because when you are talking about Vygotsky before, it means that we are going to train and stimulate something how to do a collaboration between pre-service teachers and in pre-service teacher. So let's see the first one. Please choose one of your members to teach English by implementing Vygotsky theory. Any topics you learn. So just please choose one. And then the second step, discuss with your members group to design your lesson plan. Free format, okay? And then the third one, record your member teaching activity within minimum 30 minutes. And the maximum one is as your teaching schedule. And the last one, upload your group video to this email before December 16. Oke, saya akan coba jelaskan sekali lagi. Jadi untuk group reflection ini nanti untuk yang guru-guru saya juga akan kirimkan list grupnya ya. Karena kalau yang di mahasiswa saya sudah share di grup mahasiswa. Nah nanti di grup itu salah satunya atau salah duanya bakal ada guru PNS ataupun guru yang sudah lama mengajar. Sedangkan beberapa dari mereka bakalan baru pre-service teacher, artinya mahasiswa. Nah, jadi di situ teman-teman nanti bisa pilih salah satunya. Siapa? Misalnya di grup itu ternyata ada Ibu Hilda, terus ada Ibu Elva. Tinggal pilih aja, oh yaudah deh, misalnya ya Bu Hilda bilang, oke di kelas saya aja gitu nanti. Atau di kelas Bu Elva aja misalnya. Nah, setelah kalian decide, tentukan satu orang aja, nggak usah banyak-banyak gitu. Nah, setelah di-decide mau siapa yang ngajar. Nah, yang kedua teman-teman sekalian boleh diskusi sesama kelompoknya, sama sesama membersnya, anggotanya untuk buat lesson plan. Lesson plan-nya simple-simple aja, nggak usah yang complicated kayak mau ngurus gaji, nggak perlu. Yang simple aja yang memang nanti kalau kita lihat, oh misal ya mau ngajar writing and speaking atau mau ngajar listening and reading, terus penerapannya ada salah satu topik yang tadi sudah kita pelajari. Misalnya kan Vygotsky tadi sempat ZPD kah, ataupun misalnya juga tadi sempat tentang mediation, atau misalnya apa aja boleh. Nanti kita bakal share PPT-nya juga di grupnya. Kalau yang buat Ibu Guru nanti saya wakilkan sama Ibu Wiwik dan juga sama Pak Edi. Kalau yang mahasiswa nanti saya wakilkan sama Pak Sukri dan juga grup mahasiswanya. Nah setelah itu pastikan nanti kan mahasiswa ngerasa, aduh takutnya ibu ini nggak mau terima lagi kalau saya ngegrup sama ibu gitu. Nah disinilah kita akan belajar yang namanya tadi teori Vygotsky itu gitu. Jadi antara misalnya kayak in pre-service teacher sama pre-service teacher itu kita kayak kolaborasi gitu. Jadi kita mau lihat. Nah setelah udah didiskus, udah ada lesson plan-nya, nanti udah ngajar, mewakili aja gitu juga. Jadi nggak mesti harus semuanya datang ke kelasnya, enggak kok. Nah terus nanti record. Jadi nanti bisa di-record, habis itu setelah di-record baru di-upload ke email yang ada tertulis di sini. Nah, terus yang untuk personal reflection gimana? Oke, untuk personal reflection itu buat pribadi masing-masing ya. Jadi setiap teman-teman cuman pilih aja what is the most impression topic that you learn from today's workshop. Jadi menurut teman-teman yang mana sih yang impress banget, yang terkesan banget, yang bisa diingat gitu sama teman-teman untuk penerapan teaching teman-teman. Jadi why? Please explain it. And then would you like to give the example related to your teaching as an EFL teacher or related to yourself? Jadi buat ibu guru pasti kan ya langsung ya implikasinya ke pengajaran gitu. Tapi kalau buat mahasiswa mungkin Anda bisa kok memang nggak pernah ngajar, nggak ada pengalaman ngajar, Anda bisa langsung contoh buat diri sendiri gitu. Oh ternyata kalau buat diri sendiri misalnya bla 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 seperti itu. Dan boleh ditulis pakai bahasa Indonesia. Kalau misalnya takutnya nanti bahasa Inggrisnya nggak dapet meaning yang mau disampaikan atau keywordnya, it's okay, you can mix whether Indonesian or bahasa or mix Indonesian and bahasa. Oke, itu penjelasannya. So far, do you have any questions nggak? Kalau ada yang ingin bertanya silakan. You may raise your hand. Kalau nggak ada pertanyaan nanti berarti tinggal Puan share aja di grup yang tadi Puan sampaikan. Oke, silakan Pak Sukri.
Terima kasih. Thank you very much, Miss Puan. This is a very good workshop. I learned a lot, but maybe there is one more thing that we can add in the reflection section.
Okay.
For example, the question, what should be done? What should be done to improve the workshop? For example, for myself,
Okay.
I need to have like a question and answer session after every presentation, because like the last presentation was very good, but I have some question, but I don't have time to say it. So maybe we can add one more thing there. What should we do to improve the workshop?
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you so much, Pak Sukri. So far, others, do you have any suggestion or question here? Kalau nggak ada, berarti ibu-ibu sekalian dan mahasiswa sekalian, we are going to end our first workshop, and insya Allah we are going to meet again on. Okay, Nurul Hilda Ilyas first. Okay, go ahead, Miss Nurul Hilda. Oke.
Berarti gini, mau tanya nih ya Kak.
Boleh.
Berarti anak bahasa Inggris gabung sama yang kami yang gurunya belajar
Ya,
gitu.
Enggak, jadi gini, nanti kan Kak Puan udah share nih grupnya. Terus nanti kan misalnya di situ Ilda lihat ada nama mahasiswa juga ada nama ibu guru. Nah,
iya.
Kalian cuma discuss aja, nanti kalian cuma kirimkan satu video mengajar dengan penerapan Vygotsky tadi. Terserah topiknya boleh apa aja. Misalnya misal ya kalau di SMA itu kan ngajar 2 kali 45 menit. Kalau seandainya nanti Hilda mau terapin selama 2 kali 45 menit, berarti videonya selama itu. Tapi kok misalnya Hilda cuma mau langsung fokus ke main teachingnya aja 30 menit juga nggak apa-apa gitu. Jadi minimumnya 30 menit, terus maksimumnya ya berarti sesuai dengan jadwal. Kalau mungkin ada guru di kelompok situ yang kebetulan SMA 2 kali 45 menit, tapi kalau guru SMP 2 kali 40 menit seperti itu.
Sekarang gini ceritanya.
Don't worry, Miss Hilda, we can make a collaboration class.
Ya.
Lagi ujian Mr. Sukri, lagi ujian ini. Kami SMA lagi ujian.
Oh gini,
we can collaborate.
Bentar. Misalnya kan lagi ujian nih, because they are in their exam week. Oke. Misalnya itu kan masih ujian minggu ini sampai minggu depan. Boleh create satu kelas aja gitu. Boleh create nggak di luar dari RPP-nya sekolah gitu, yang memang mungkin bisa improve apa teaching sama misalnya kayak writing, reading, speaking, listening itu juga nggak apa-apa. Jadi kayak kesannya mau kayak les gitu juga nggak apa-apa. Intinya nanti kita punya setiap kelompok itu dia harus submit satu video, karena kita kayak tadi kayak mahasiswa kan mungkin ada yang belum pernah ngajar, jadi dia bisa belajar dari kalian yang udah pernah ngajar, yang memang betul-betul kadang-kadang kan teori itu nggak selamanya bisa 100% diterapin di lapangan ya. Nah jadi mereka bisa belajar dari kalian juga gitu. Oke.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. If you have no question, just waiting for I will send this to our WhatsApp group. once again, thank you so much. Inshallah, see you next 2 weeks later, December 17. Okay, thank you and bye-bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you,
Warahmatullahi
everybody. Thank you,
wabarakatuh.
Professor. Thank
See
you.
you, everybody.
Okay. The time for praying Islamic. See you.